call Halayim La, Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone who rule well, and peace and blessing to a hopeful lake, Shalom. Now the news, Ukraine has finally been invaded by Russia. Now I heard talks that they was already in eastern Ukraine before the invasion, all right? But now it's pretty much confirmed, so to speak, from the media and video footage that yeah, the Russia Putin is going to war against the Ukrainians, which they're both Edomites, all right? Now that land of Russia was the land of Japhet. That's why the Russians are pertaining to Gog and Magog, all right? But let's just start in the book of Matthew 24, man. All right, let's get it. And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to shew him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said to him, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. All right? Because of destruction. Verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came to him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? Because when Yahushua comes back, all right, that's the final huzzah for Esau Edom. Because when Yahushua comes back, he's coming to take down mainly these Edomites, these 2/3, and the rest of these heathen nations, all right? Contrary to popular belief, they think Yahushua is a so-called white man, and he's coming back to bring peace and to give any heathen, all right, any Moabite, so to speak, all right, Ethiopian, so on and so forth, that believes in white man Jesus in the image of Caesar Borgia, who was a faggot, all right, a faggot Edomite and a murderer. If you believe in that, you're saved, and that's not in the scriptures, all right. And having Caesar Borgia as the picture of Jesus Christ, first and foremost, those are idols. But in more so, they're painting that as Yahushua, which is his true name in the Hebrew tongue, all right? And that having that image is blasphemous because they have a leprous man as the image of Yahushua, who is a dark-skinned man. And having pale skin is a curse. It's inferiority, right? And this is verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto him, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, which is the proper way to say Christ in Hebrew, and shall deceive many. All right? And that's what they're doing now, man. People in this truth that know they're Israelites, and people out this truth who are heathens. All right? And verse 5, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. And we've been seeing wars come and go and rumors of wars. And now it's just getting more real and real, man. Because Esau Edom is getting stirred up because they know their time is short, man. And these Russians, man, are going to be the main ones that put that pressure on these Edomites, man. And all these nations ultimately is going to turn on all of Edom, but mainly United States of America over here in the West, all right? All these nations are mainly going to turn on America, but all these other heathens is going to turn on Esau Edom as a whole. See that ye not be troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And that's right, man. Just because we can get a little excited. You can get excited, but don't get too excited that we see what's going on in Europe right now, Eastern Europe, with Ukraine and Russia. It's cool, but it's still a lot more. Before World War III breaks out, the MOT to the B, that chip that goes up in your body, all right, which it is a chip, when it goes into your body, that has to be mandated before World War III and Yahushua returns, man. Understanding the order of prophecy keeps your mind at peace, all right? Let's get that. Let's get that. John 8 and 32. And ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. And understanding these holy scriptures is the truth, man. Verse 7. For nation shall rise against nation, all right? and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. Now, when the scripture talks about nations, it's not talking about um different factions of the same race that have separate um economies and military, so to speak. When the scriptures talks about nations, it's talking about races of people. All right, like the nation of Edom, which are so-called white people, so-called white men, women, and children. They're the Edomites. The biblical Edomites is a nation. But you have Edomites that have, like the Russians are Edomites, and the Russians don't like Babylonians, which is Americans, United States of America is Babylon the great whore, the daughter of Babylon. All right, they're both Edomites, but what we refer to as nations now, you would think in these scriptures that it's talking about that when it's not talking about that. This is basically talking about race wars. All right, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. Now let's go into that Strong's where it says nations, ethnos, and that's probably where we get the word ethnicity from, man. It stems from that, and as you can see, Gentiles, nations, heathen people. Like I was saying, it's talking about a race, a race of people. All right. As you can see, it's not talk. So that's just going into what I'm saying. All right. I'm not speaking my opinion. I'm using facts from the Holy Scriptures. All right. So, like I was saying, I'm going to restate it. It's talking about race wars. All right. Nation against nation. And it's race wars that are brewing up now, man. And it's mainly against Esau, Edom, and the Israelites, man. All right. That's the main people that are going to be targeted in these times. And this is and then famines. The famines are heating up as we speak, man. They just said a cargo ship full of goods, victuals, all right, got shot down. All right, well, blew up. And pestilences, I believe that's diseases. Let me double check. I believe pestilences is talking about diseases. Um, yep, diseases, plagues. All right, you had you got the Jabberwocky, the 1-9 for the Jabberwocky. All right, and there's more that's gonna come. You think this is just the Bill? Speaking of that, Bill Gates just said a pandemic is gonna come worse than the one that hit in 2020. So who knows? And then I seen one of these preppers say that the Wuhan said they found a virus with a 35% mortality. So 35%, that means say 1/3 of America or 1/4, I believe. My math may be off, but I say 100 million Americans get infected. That means 35 million Americans would die, and that's roughly the population of Texas. That's like all of Texas just died, man. So yeah, man, things are gonna heat up. Um, and earthquakes are happening everywhere. There was earthquake in Texas, earthquakes in diverse places that never received earthquakes, man. All these are the beginning of sorrows. All right. Now this is nice right here. This is meaty. Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted. And this is the hopeful elect, the people that understand the holy scriptures that got the Rakal Kadash through the Elohim, all right, to understand these scriptures, man. That's the people that's gonna be afflicted, man. You see these wacky, full of shit Christians saying that no, man. First and foremost, to be a Christian, you have to be an Israelite. Because the Israelites are the only Christians. You fucking heathens, your place will be slavery, man. And you Edomites, you're just gonna be exterminated after that slavery, man. Now, of course, after these heathens have been in timeout, they will keep the laws and get their own land, all right? But they're not gonna be ruling beside the Israelites. And you Edomites, you're just gonna be exterminated through and through, man. And ye shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations. So all races of people are gonna hate who? Who are the all? What are all races of people gonna hate? The Israelites, man. They're gonna hate the Israelites for my name's sake, for Yahweh Shai's name's sake, not Jesus Christ, not Muhammad. What else is these other false idols, man? Buddha, um, Yahushua. All no, man, Yahweh Shai, man. Is the only names that hold power, that true power, man, is Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, man. And who that's the proper way to say Jesus Christ in the name of the Father, man. And Yahweh Shai means he saves, right? Or he delivers, synonyms. And Yahweh means he is or he exists. He is or he exists, synonyms as well. And then, this is verse 10, and then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many. And that's going to these Israelites that know they Israelites, man. They popping up out of the blue. All right, some people that been pushing this truth, not this truth, but just just saying there is just knowing they Israelites. That's not the whole thing, man. You just because you know you're Israelite, don't mean nothing. Just because you know the name of Yahweh Shai, don't mean nothing. The hammer on the head is when you can break down and understand the truth of these holy scriptures. That's the hammer on the head and understanding it. But what was I was saying? Many false prophets, anti-Hamashiachs. There's many of them, man. And many false prophets shall arise and shall deceive many. And they are, man. First and foremost, the first ones that started is the one, these Edomites saying that all nations can be saved through white man Jesus. That's fucking bullshit. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. And it is, man. Here in Babylon the Great is gonna hit the hardest, man. But he that shall endure unto the end, he shall that endure into the end, the same shall be saved. Just because you believe in Yahweh Shai doesn't mean you're gonna be saved to the end. It's who endures. And I really want to say Jesus Christ, because that's what they say. They say you believe in Jesus Christ, now you're saved. That's it's delusion, man. Christianity. That's why Christianity and these other religions are collapsing, and mainly Christianity is collapsing the most, man, because it's full of shit. Because the people who established Christianity are Edomites, and they're full of shit. All right, they say this America is a God-fearing Christian country, but then you enslaved people, you slaughtered people, and you've been oppressing people for hundreds of years, man. Hundreds of years. You've been raping, pillaging, lying, oppressing, and killing to make yourself rich. That's what the devil does, man. Because these Edomites are the devils, man. They are Satan in the flesh, man. Now I'm gonna get that. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. And why does this holy scriptures have to be a witness to all nations, man? Um, James 1. James, a servant of the Most High, the Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad. Greeting, because the Israelites were scattered into all nations. Then I know it's Acts 2, but I know it's. Let me just go to Acts 2. Why not just do that in the beginning, man? Call along like how about shot, man. Acts 2 and 5. And there were dwelling in Jerusalem Jews, devout men out of every nation under the heaven. So Jews, which are a particular race of people, the southern kingdom of Israel, all right, were out of every nation under heaven. So the Israelites, like I said, James 1 and 1, were in all nations. That's why the truth had to be pushed into these nations. And when you see where it says Parthians, Medes, Elamites, so on and so forth, these are Israelites that are from these nations and being called by these names, man. And that's why in these so-called Christians go over this, like they skip over this, man, and they cherry pick what they want, man. And when they meet brothers like me, man, we slice them and dice them. They don't want no smoke, man. Now check this out. Matthew 12. Matthew. Yeah, let's go to Matthew 12. This is Matthew 12 and 25. And Yahweh knew their thoughts and said unto him, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? That's what these Edomites are doing, man. They're going against themselves, man. And they have rulership over the earth. All right? And here in America, there's so many factions of these Edomites, man. It's just gonna be a massacre. All right, and these Edomites' blood, the main people that's blood that's gonna be shed during this world's war and Jacob's trouble is these Edomites. Now let's go to Ezekiel 38. Actually, no. Let's go to Matthew 3. I mean, what is this, man? Mark 3. Mark 3 and 23. And he called them unto him and said unto them in parables, how can Satan cast out Satan? And if a king, and it's talk about Esau, Edom, man. And if a kingdom be divided against itself, that kingdom cannot stand. And that's Babylon the Great to a T, man. Babylon the Great is divided against itself, all right? And if a house be divided against itself, that house cannot stand. And if Satan rise up against himself, Edom going against Edom, these lower Edomites going against these elite Edomites, and be divided, he cannot stand but have an end. No man can enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind that strong man, and then he will spoil his house. All right, and that's going into like pillaging and plundering, man. And that's what Yahweh Shai and the elect are gonna do, and we're gonna have the right to do that because this earth was created for us, man. Now I'm gonna hit up Ezekiel 38, and I'm gonna head out. It's lucky on that. I'm gonna hit up Ezekiel 38, and I'm gonna head out. Ezekiel 38 from the top. And the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog in the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him, man. And that's Russia, man. These Edomites are inhabiting that land. And say this, and say, thus said the Lord Yahweh, behold, I am against thee, O Gog, and the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, man. Like how the USSR, this, all right, Cold War times and stuff. That's why Russia's getting ready, man. And I will bring thee forth and all thy army and horses and horsemen, all them clothed with all sorts of armor, and a great company with bucklers and shields, and all of them handling swords. Persia, Ethiopia, Libya, with all of them with shield and helmet. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togarmah, 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 and of the north quarters, and all his bands and many people unto thee. So Russia is going to suit up and deck out these other nations to go against the land of Israel and Babylon the Great and whoever else get in their way or who they want to conquer. Be thou prepared and prepare for thyself. Mainly, all right, they're putting their targets on Babylon the Great and the land of Israel, the state of Israel, man. And prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. And that's right, Russia is a guard, a protector to these smaller quote unquote nations. After many days thou shalt be visited. In the latter years thou shalt come into the land that is brought back from the sword. All right, that's how um um these Edomites get their land, man, and is gathered out of many people against the mountains of Israel, which have been always waste, but is brought forth out of the nations, and thou shalt dwell safely, all of them. And that's right, man. The hopeful elect of Israel, all right, are gonna be a-okay in that day, so to speak, man. But the land of Israel will be destroyed, all right, and Babylon the Great will be destroyed. Thou shalt ascend and come like a storm, and thou shalt be like a cloud to cover the land, thou and all thy bands and many people with thee. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, it shall come to pass that at the same time shall things come into thy mind, and thou shalt think an evil thought. And thou shalt say, I will go up to the land of unwalled villages, and that's Babylon the Great. Babylon the Great don't got no walls. You can go to state to state to state. There's no walls on the borders of Babylon the Great. People come through New Mexico, Texas, Montana. All right, I will go to them that are at rest, and Babylon the Great is at rest, that dwell safely. We do dwell safely here in Babylon the Great. All of them dwelling without walls. We don't have walls, and have neither bars nor gates, to take a spoil and to take a prey, to turn thine hand upon the desolate places that are now inhabited, and unto the people that are gathered out of the nations. That's how you know this talking about Babylon the Great. Let's go to melting melting pot. Melting. Let's just type. I think it's Jeremiah 50. Jeremiah 50. Let's see. Let's go. Let's go to Jeremiah 50. Or was it Jeremiah 51? Oh no, I think it's 50. Let's keep scrolling. Now this is talking about Babylon the Great, man. United States of America. I think um Golden Cup. Jeremiah 51. Yeah, I remember now. Jeremiah 51. All right, Jeremiah 51 and 7. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. And that goes into Ezekiel 38, man. That's how you know it's talking about Babylon the Great. That was another one I wanted. Um, melting. Let's see. Oh man, I think it's in Jeremiah 51. Let's keep scrolling. Let's see. Can't find that specific one I wanted, but Jeremiah 51 and 7 just hits the hammer on the head still, all right? Now let's go back to Ezekiel 38. Ezekiel 38 and 13. Sheba and Dedan and the merchants of Tarshish, Tarshish, with all the young lions thereof, shall say unto thee, art thou come to take a spoil? Hast thou gathered thy company to take a prey? Because they gonna be decked out, to carry away silver and gold, and take away the cattle and goods, and take a great spoil. Therefore, son of man, prophesy and say unto Gog, thus said the Lord Yahweh, and thou in that day when my people of Israel dwelleth safely, shall thou not know it? And that's right, man. When all the Israelites, the whole elect, scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, and specifically here in Babylon the Great, when Russia comes over here and invade this land where the bulk of the Israelites are, the elect, they will they'll be protected, man. And thou shalt come from thy place out of the north parts, thou and many people with thee, all of them riding upon horses, a great company and a mighty army. And thou shalt come against my people of Israel as a cloud to cover the land. It shall be the latter days, and I will bring thee against my land. All right. So he's bringing against his people, and he's bringing Esau Edom against his people and against the land, that the heathen may know me. All right. So that's why he's bringing these Edomites against his land. All right. Why? Because these heathen are dwelling in our land. That goes to, I believe, Ezekiel 36, man, where it says Esau Edom will take our land, which are these fucking Amalekites, the people that are calling themselves Israelis and Jewish, all right? That the heathen may know me, and when I shall be sanctified in thee, O Gog, before their eyes. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, art thou he of whom I have spoken in old time by my servants, the prophets of Israel, which prophesied in those days many years that I will bring thee against them? And it shall come to pass at the same time when God shall come against the land of Israel, all right, saith the Lord Yahweh, that my fury shall come up in my face, and for my jealousy and my fire and my wrath have I spoken. Surely in that day there shall be a great shaking in the land of Israel, because them nukes are going to wipe out the land of Israel, man. The land of Israel has to be cleansed because these heathens is doing all types of wickedness over there. And the Babylon the Great will be wiped out as well. So that the fishes of the sea, and the fowls of the heaven, and the beasts of the field, and all creepy things that creep upon the earth, and all the men that are upon the face of the earth, shall shake at my presence, and the mountains shall be thrown down, and the steep places shall fall, and every wall shall fall to the ground. And I will call for a sword against him through all my mountains, said the Lord Yahweh, and every man's sword shall be against his brother. And I will plead against him with pestilence and with blood, and I will rain upon him and upon his bands, and upon the many people that are with him, in overflowing rain and great hailstones, fire and brimstone. Thus will I magnify myself and sanctify myself, and I will be known in the eyes of many nations, and they shall know I am Yahweh, man. And that's it. I'm gonna end that off right there, man. Call Halimullah Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadash. Double honors to elders, apostles, great millstone. Peace and blessings to that hopeful lake. Keep pushing this truth. Keep the faith. Keep the law, statute, commandments to your best ability. And again, keep the faith of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai. Shalom.